What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Galaxy Note 20 series and the Galaxy S20 series, the flagships in 2024 here. I'm going to be talking about, just everything you need to know about these phones, commonly asked questions about these phones as well too. So I do have individual videos on this phone, but like always, we get a lot of new people on the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap these questions up. So one, should you even buy such an older flagship like the Galaxy Note 20 series and the S20 series? And the answer is, I think yes, but it depends on the person. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the one main benefit that these phones have is that they have SD card support, which is a way bigger feature than even I, expected. Samsung obviously knows that as well too, because a lot of people are holding on to their Galaxy Note 20s and S20s, S20 FE here as well too. It has SD card support. So I would say yes, you could buy one of these phones if SD card support is important to you and you want just something a little bit newer. You don't want to go as far as the Note 10 or the Note 9 or anything like that. You want something that's still getting security patches, at least for right now. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so you want something that's still just a little bit newer in terms of specs and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good deal. But I would say if you don't care about SD card support and you don't take a lot of videos and you don't download a lot of stuff, I would seriously consider getting an S21 series phone. That those phones are actually going to be getting Android 15. Some of them, like the S21 FE, that'll get Android 16. Also, you're going to be getting some of the Galaxy AI features. So there's a lot of benefits to the S21 series if you're in the used flagship marketplace. So I would definitely consider that because the one thing that these phones have, it is just the SD card support, right? All right, so another common question I get is, well, what about the security updates? Will my application stop working? And absolutely not, guys. Your applications will not stop working after this phone is done getting security updates. And as far as the security updates, like the news on it, a good thing about the Note 20 and the S20 is Samsung actually backtracked on giving this phone quarterly updates. It's now still on monthly security updates, and I think it's mostly because Samsung has just a massive user base that's still using the S20s and the Note 20 phone. So I think that's pretty interesting if you guys want to read this article from 9 to 5 Google here. But yeah, I think this phone would definitely get security updates a bit longer if they're backtracking already. So I think that's definitely exciting news as far as the lifespan of the phone. But again, your applications won't stop working once this phone is done getting security patches. So that's like a very common question. Also, as far as the price of these phones, again, the price is very good on these phones right now. The Note 20 Ultra finally got a price drop as well too. It's around $340 to $50, and that's a really good deal because it was hovering around like $400. So it's got a pretty nice price drop as well too. You can find the S20 FE for less than $200, the S20 Ultra less than $300 as well too. So very, very good prices. And basically a common question is, well, what's the big difference between the S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra? Basically the big difference between these two flagships, because you might kind of be confused a little bit on which phone is better. So it really depends. So they both have SD card support. They both have pretty much the same chipset. The battery life is better on the S20 Ultra. The Note 20 Ultra, a lot of people like the screen more on here. It has a more boxy kind of shape. It has a kind of, I guess you could say, more modern look. It looks like the S24 from the front. But the S20, I would say if you have smaller hands, I would get this phone because it's way easier to hold. It's not as boxy. It's just more comfortable. You don't have the S Pen on here as well. And yeah, there's not like a massive difference. And this is also cheaper as well too. The cameras are essentially the same. You do have better zooming or higher zooming. You have the 100 times zoom. But again, the cameras are essentially the same as far as like stills. It's not like a big difference. But again, it's very like minor differences. Basically, it comes down to those kind of things. But there's not like a huge difference between these two phones. Now, another question is, well, which one is better for gaming? So all of these phones are actually really good for gaming because they all have the same chipset. Now, the S20 Ultra here, my gaming experience has been better on this phone simply because, not necessarily because of performance, but because the battery life is better on the S20 Ultra. So that's definitely something that I would think about if you're just strictly buying like an old flagship for gaming and you want like one of these phones. You can play PUBG at 90 frames, but not only that, the battery life on the S20 Ultra is better than the Note, it's better than the S20 FE. This has the best battery life out of the bunch. So I think that's really important. So if you do want a game, definitely get this phone. I've just been really impressed with it. I really like the screen. It's very comfortable to hold as well too. And yeah, so if you're gaming, just get the S20 Ultra. Lastly, I want to talk about the actual process of buying. I typically only buy phones on Amazon and eBay. Why? Because eBay and Amazon guarantee, like, if something goes wrong with the device, the return process is pretty easy and you can get your money back and buy another phone or whatever. But I typically never have issues with sellers because I always buy from a seller that has a lot of ratings. So you don't want to just see, like, right here, you don't want to see a seller and he has, like, he's probably sold like 5 things, or just has like 5 ratings and it's 99. That's not really telling you much, right? And you can't really go as that far as just looking at the seller ratings. You got to go and look at the actual reviews of the products from the last, I would say, look at the reviews from the last 6 months, and then you can go ahead and buy from that guy because he has a high sale rate as far as good quality, selling good quality products and stuff like that. So I always do that. A lot of people, they'll buy from just some random guy, which is fine, it works out like sometimes, but to be like on the safe side, I would typically like to buy from bigger sellers with good ratings. You go and you look at the reviews of the sellers, and then I've never had like an issue with that. Like, you can see this guy, very big seller on here as well, been on here since 2001, and that's what I like to do. You could do that, apply that same principle to Amazon as well too. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. I just want to cover those, a couple questions. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.